Hello and welcome back to D6 Tabletop. In this video you join me at Bristol Independent Gaming in Cater Road, Bishopsworth for a 3-game 2,000 points Warhammer 40,000 tournament where I have brought my Necrons. It's a similar list to last time. I'm hoping for another good tournament with it today, but first of all let's have a little look at Bristol Independent Gaming. This place is a great venue. It's got a shop attached to it selling 40K, Age of Sigmar, Star Wars, historical, Dungeons & Dragons, board games. There's loads of stuff here and all your hobby supplies. It's got a best part of 20 or more tables. There's rooms at the back for D&D and some fantastic terrain, as we will see as we go throughout this video. So without further ado, let's have a little look at my list and see what I've brought. My list then, so the 10-man Lich Guard blob is back, along with an Overlord and a Technomancer. The Overlord with a Sempiternal Weave, give him a 4-up Feel No Pain, and he inbuilt buffs the unit, making them -1 to wound and +1 weapon skill. The Technomancer has got the enhancements to make them -1 to hit in range and the benefit of cover, and he also gives the entire unit a 5-up Feel No Pain, along with their 4-up invulnerable save and their 3-up base save. 2 Warrior Blob units, both with Lord and Techno in, again the 5-up Feel No Pain, and both Lords have got orbs, allowing them to reanimate at the beginning of both players' command phases. This is crucial as my list is built around staying power and staying on objectives. One unit has got the Veil of Darkness in so that they can disappear at the end of an opponent's turn and allow me to put them somewhere else on the board. 2 Doomstalkers bring the heavy guns to my list. It's not a particularly strong list in shooting, but these two bring a bit of extra damage to the table and a bit of threat, stopping anybody with a large amount of armor. The Reanimator, a key aspect of my list, gives out a 12-inch aura, adding D3 to all reanimation rolls made, including the ones made in the opponent's turn. Some bikes bring some speed to the list. Along with their scout move, they allow me to get some early board presence, and they've got the anti-infantry guns on, which is D6 shots each. 3 Wraith Blades, they come on in Deep Strike later on, try and score me some points. Hopefully I'll do more than last time and be able to get into some units and kill them. They've got no real saves, other than a base save of about 4-up, so they don't tend to last very long. A Hexmark Destroyer, the Gloctopus, one of my favourite units in this army. They can return fire to anybody who gets shot within 3 of it, including itself. They can overwatch each turn for free, they can deep strike, and they are a lone operative. He'll be used for supporting in the middle or coming in as a late game objective capturing through deep strike depending on the missions. And lastly, the Void Dragon. Last time he didn't come out so well, didn't do so well, so I'm hoping for a better chance this time and see what I can do with him. I'm still experimenting with him, I'm not sure if I want to keep him in the list going forward or not, but we'll see how he goes and see what happens. Right, that's the list. Now let's get into Game 1. So, Game 1. Deployment of Dawn of War. Primary mission of Vital Ground, meaning we're going to lose the middle objective, but it's score 2 for your own objective, 5 for the ones in No Man's Land, and 6 for the opponent's home objective. And Secret Intel, meaning we're drawing 3 cards and ditching 1 at the start of each turn, if we can do so, for secondaries. So my initial thought here is I'm playing Carl and his Necrons. It's not a complete mirror army because I've got Technomancers to make my units stay longer, whereas he has brought Plasmancers to try and give his critical hits to make them better at killing stuff. So it's going to be an interesting one of which pays off first. In the back of my mind, I know whichever one of us gets to the objectives first and sits on it, we'll hold them for the rest of the game. So I fully intend to make sure that is me. I deploy my bikes near the objective on the left. They can scout move, they'll be on it in 1 turn. My Warrior Blob with Veil, I place on the right. So at the end of his turn, I can then take them off the board if I need to, unless I can make the advance roll onto that objective in my turn. A Warrior Blob sits on my home objective, which is going to make that pretty much mine for the entire game. I place my Lich Guard to the left, because their main idea is to push straight for that left objective and make it impossible to get me off of it. And then the rest of the army will go where I can. The big guns go in the middle. So they've got 2 lanes of fire either side. The Reanimator hides for its life behind any big terrain piece. This was a really good game. It was really competitive and a lot of fun. In the end, Carl deployed his Lich Guard blob at the other end of the table, which meant the only things they were really facing was my Necron warriors, allowing me to fully focus on the left side of the table and pushing him around as much as possible. The Void Dragon, the Wraith Blades, and the Hexmark all came down to reinforce the left side. This allowed me to push around the left side of the board, take control, and whilst my Warrior Blob on the right side did eventually die. It wasn't until about turn 4 or 5, meaning they'd already scored all the points I needed to score, and by now I was at his home objective, allowing me to seal the deal, being the final score 79 to me, 49 to Carl. Necrons are the winners of Crons v Crons. Super fun game, very competitive, a lot of to-in and throw-in, and some great moments within. So with that, let's go on to Game 2. Game 2. Search and destroy deployment, primary mission Scorched Earth, mission rule Scrambler Fields. So this means that my reserves are now can't come in on objectives and through because of Scrambler Fields, and Scorched Earth allowing us to raise objectives at the end of our turn or during the shooting phase to score us extra points. This game was against Rob and his Imperial Knights. Genuinely thought I was going to get whitewashed in the first turn or two. His list is 2 big knights, one with all the guns and one with a half and half, and a load of little knights running around as well. This was a really good game and a super close game. I lost my big guns early on, as I expected to, because he's going to get rid of anything that can do some damage to him. The Void Dragon came down and, as per usual, died and did nothing against any knights, leaving it just down to the Lich Guard and the Warrior Blob. Lich Guard into the centre, as usual, becoming the immovable object, sat on the objective, meaning that he had to clear me off to win the game. And he probably would have done, if it wasn't for one Overlord making every single save and feel no pain he possibly could, and then reanimating his little heart out to the point where he spent 3 turns dueling a knight in close combat and still alive. Not just a little knight, the big knight. Forgotten what it's called. Is it Castellan? I'm not entirely sure. Questing? I don't know. There he was, on his own, with his little bulletproof cloak, surviving harpoons, chainswords, titanic feet, the whole lot. He was shrugging it all off. And purely because of him, I held on for this game. Although I didn't control the objective, it still tied up his units and meant that he couldn't use them to get rid of the rest of my units and my warriors. So, came down to the wire, and it came down to me scoring 5 points at the end just because my Hexmark Destroyer, the Gloctopus, is in the backfielder corner, hoping I get something that involves me doing a secondary action in the corner, and I draw Deploy Teleport Homer just at the end, allowing me to score 5 points because he was in Rob's deployment zone, bringing a final score 79 to the Necrons, 74 to the Knights. So let's go on to Game 3, where we are now in the ranges of tables and placings that I'm not used to being in. So let's have a look at what happens. Deployment, sweeping engagement, primary mission, purge the foe, so more points if you kill more than the opponent, and if you hold more than the opponent, and chosen battlefield, meaning that we got to place our own objectives. I'm playing against Joe and his Thousand Sons. I don't really know a lot about Thousand Sons. I'm just getting flashbacks to last weekend where Magnus did nothing wrong and destroyed my entire army of Space Marines. So I'm hoping this doesn't happen again now. So when it comes to this kind of situations where I don't know what I'm up against or I don't know enough about them, I just fall back into my default way of play, which is get immovable objects onto objectives. Luckily, I won the roll-off for placing objectives, so I've placed all 3 as close as I could to each other within range of my Reanimator, because I don't really know what I'm playing against. I don't know what's going to be thrown at me, but all I know is if I hold more and I keep reanimating, I might just be able to survive this. He's got a big demon beastie thing that I've never seen, and I know that Magnus does an insane amount of mortal wounds, so I'm hoping my Feel No Pains are going to come in clutch and help me here. However, I'm also planning for the worst. Stick my bikes at the far end because their scout move will enable me to capture that far objective and at least spread them out a little bit and try and weather some of this storm. So as the game begins, it goes pretty much as I expected. I've put the Lich Guard into the middle, holding the middle as much as I can. I've managed to charge in, and I've tied up his unit of Marines and his big demon thing. Paid the CP to use precision, and I've managed to kill out his character, I think it's Alaman, in the first round of combat. So that's taken some of the pressure off because it means I've got less wizardy stuff happening at me. However, as I suspected, mortal wounds came in abundance. I lost a warrior blob straight off the bat, which put a big dent in my plan. So I then started playing a game of hold on as much as you can. When it came down to reinforcements, everything came in far side of the field in a hope that I can pressure his home objective and score the secondaries that hadn't come up yet for scoring across the board and in his deployment zone. Thankfully, they did come up a little bit later on, and I managed to hang on for the game, with the game ending 70 points to me, 70 points to Joe. Good game, fun game. I'm still learning about Thousand Suns, so I'm still trying to understand what it is I'm playing against. But it's always fun to learn and see something new. So yeah, really good game. And finished tournament, 2 wins and a draw. So no loss.
So there we are, 3 games of 40k, 2 wins and a draw, happy with that. Came 4th in the end out of 28, so that's a nice place I feel for me. That went really well. And I won Best Painted, which I was very surprised about. Big thank you to Team of Bristol, Independent Gaming, and we will look forward to the next one. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, commenting below, and thank you for watching. Take care, we'll see you in the next one.